Today we're talking about residential real estate in Puerto Rico. This is the Puerto Rico Business Broadcast.
Live from San Juan, Puerto Rico. This is the Puerto Rico Business Broadcast. Now, here's your host, Daven Michaels.
Welcome to the broadcast. Today we're talking about residential real estate. We have Ricky Santana with us. Great to have you here, amigo.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And can you share with everybody what your Puerto Rico story is?
Well, I'm a Boricua. I was born in New York, but they brought me here when I was a baby, and I guess we love it, so we stayed here.
And the rest is history.
Yes, it is.
Okay. And how long ago did you start Colectivo?
Colectivo Group, actually, it's a two-year. I mean, it was in phases because initially we were doing events, and then Colectivo 360 evolved into the Colectivo Group, and so it was. The evolution to Colectivo Group probably started like 3 years ago.
Oh, okay, great. And were you in real estate before then, or?
I've been in real estate for probably 27 years.
That's all? Right.
That's all. Just the other day.
Wow. So, and those 27 years, they were all in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, so initially I started just basically as an investor.
Yep.
And it wasn't until probably 5 years ago that I pivoted into becoming a real estate agent.
Got it.
But I've always been involved in real estate for the longest time.
Sure, and being an agent brings in more deals anyways. I'm sure you're still investing as well, too.
So actually, I just keep evolving. So from an investor to an agent, now we're going back probably to being an investor again and working with a couple of clients. So yeah, life goes in cycles.
Yeah. And what type of stuff have you invested in over the last few decades?
I think residential, particularly on the luxury side. That's what I do every single day. That's what I know the best. Hopefully exploring into hospitality as well in the near future.
Cool. And your group, is it all high-end real estate?
So basically our focus is the luxury market. We definitely do all sorts of deals, whether it's mid-level. We've done some, I guess, the real estate market in Puerto Rico has changed so much in the last probably 5 years, so it keeps evolving. So definitely, like, personally, people look for me on the higher end of the luxury real estate market.
Yep.
But my agents, pretty much, we're a full service agency, so we pretty much sell all sorts of real estate. But I would say like mid-level to high end, it's our bread and butter.
And how is real estate evolved over the last 5 years here?
Oh my God, how do we start on this?
How and why?
Well, I think let's start with the why. I think particularly if we look at the Act 60 program, it started 11 years ago. So I think that what started disrupting the market.
Yeah.
So the profile of the new residents that are moving into Puerto Rico, and of course we have other decrees that are bringing people to Puerto Rico, whether it's manufacturing, hospitality, export services, technology. So the profile of the new residents in Puerto Rico has changed dramatically in the past decade. But just recently, I would say probably in the last 3 or 4 years, there's an appetite for more high-end real estate. So that's been changing the scope of our business. So it's always pivoting and understanding where the tailwinds and headwinds are. So it's been a dramatic change. So I think there's a particular crowd of people moving down here in Puerto Rico that the particular type of real estate that they're looking for is not. There's not much of it.
There's not a lot of it, yeah, which is great. I mean,
it's
good,
an opportunity.
Good and bad. Yes, it's an opportunity.
It's an opportunity. Definitely.
Exactly. And so, look, I always like to, look at the incentives and how they're making an impact on the island. And they're certainly not perfect, but it seems like it's been probably quite good for the luxury real estate market. Yes.
Of course. I mean, I think incentives. If you're looking at the global marketplace, everywhere there's incentives, there's prosperity.
There's growth, yeah.
And of course, I think incentives, you can always tinker them and try how we can make it better.
Yeah.
But there's no doubt that by far the incentives have had a profound impact in Puerto Rico, particularly on the real estate market.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so let's talk about what areas specifically would you consider luxury? I mean, obviously there's Dorado, there's... What other areas?
So I think that's a great question.
Like, what are you selling?
Yeah. How do we define luxury real estate market?
Yeah.
Maybe you always hear it's sexy, like, oh, I'm the $1 million lister or $1 million whatever.
Right. But I like when I think of luxury, I'm thinking like at the low end, 3 to 5 mil.
So that depends where you come from. Like for instance, in Puerto Rico, I would say if you are buying a house that it's at least $500,000.
Okay.
Like, let's put it in
Okay,
perspective.
so anything over $500,000.
$500,000,
Okay.
I think that's still a lot of money.
Okay.
So I think like $500,000 to $1 million, I think that's
the beginning.
Yeah, so it's very segmented. Then between 1 to 5, then 5 to 10.
Yep.
And then the holy
then
grail,
stratosphere.
it's 10 plus.
Yeah.
So I would say like in today's market, like catering to the 1%, it's probably 10 plus. And it's segmented between 1 to 5, 5 to 10, and 10 plus.
Okay, so let's talk about all those price points and markets, because I know that there are, I think of Condado and I think of Dorado and so on and so forth, but there are other markets. Like I know there's luxury homes in Luquillo.
Exactly.
So let's talk about the different luxury markets or areas that are hot, and then maybe some that are up and coming.
So I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
We did a record-breaking deal in Fajardo.
Okay.
It was I think it was a year and a half ago. $2.6 million.
Must have been a beautiful home.
Beautiful house sitting on 3 acres.
Mm-hmm.
So it puts you in perspective that for 2.6 in Fajardo, you're gonna get the best of the best.
Yeah.
However, you go to Condado,
Yeah.
maybe you're gonna get something nice, but not on the water.
Right.
For Dorado,
Or a small apartment.
Yeah. So in
The
Dorado,
water.
you for 2.6, you're gonna get a really nice house. You're
Yeah.
not gonna be in front of the water.
No.
So every city has a niche within the city.
Sure. So give me some other cities though. Like where else? Like can we find?
So I would
these
say
types of properties?
traditionally the metropolitan area, anything that's near the water, like I think Condado, Isla Verde are always very interesting for the luxury market. Old San Juan is very different.
Yeah.
I think that's been growing significantly.
Definitely.
It's a different vibe.
Yeah.
Guaynabo, I think probably like 10 or 15 years ago, a lot of the locals, if you're wealthy and you wanted a nice home, you want to Guaynabo, then all of a sudden it started changing where I want to be in Dorado. But then again, markets go in cycles. So now people are going back to Guaynabo.
Guaynabo is where they have some of those beautiful older like estate
Exactly.
properties, right? Those are amazing.
But the one thing
properties.
and I think depends on the profile of the buyer and
Yeah.
the family. It depends where you are in your life. So if you got kids and you need to be near great schools, you go to Guaynabo.
Okay. Wow. And now Dorado though has Tassos, right?
I mean, Dorado, it's pretty much the gold standard of the luxury market.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta take Dorado out of the equation. Nothing compares to Dorado.
Yeah.
You compare like average sales in Puerto Rico across the island are, I think the average price for a house in Puerto Rico last year was around $230,000, whereas Dorado, like last year, our average sale was $6 million.
Yeah. How about St. Regis?
St. Regis, it's very interesting because I think that's the other product, and I'm not going to use the word competition because they're different products that cater to a different crowd. I just recently on our Icon conference, I had competitors, which are not competitors, just friendly participants of the same ecosystem. We had Prisa Group and Paulson. We were having Paulson, Puerto Rico. We were having that conversation.
Yeah.
And I think they're building products.
So Paulson would be St. Regis. And,
Correct. And Prisa would be
Prisa
particularly
Dorado.
Dorado Beach, Sabanera.
Sure.
So I think each segment has a different product for a different clientele. I would say St. Regis is very unique. So if you're somebody that wants more privacy and maybe they're into different things, maybe like you rather do golfing, they're different products. So I think St. Regis definitely, if you're looking to buy something that is really nice in Puerto Rico on the higher end, you need to look either at St. Regis and Dorado Beach. Those are the two players in the market.
Got it. What about Cocoa Beach?
Cocoa Beach, it's another option. I just think the infrastructure around it's not there
There's
yet.
not a lot, yeah.
Like if you're going to San Regis, you just get off. So the infrastructure and the logistics of buying a product makes a huge difference. So for San Regis, you just get up Route 66 and you're there.
Yeah.
Cocoa Beach, you have to make another turn. If you get traffic, it gets a little different. So I think it's a good product, but at least today, it's not in the same. The same category as Dorado Beach or St. Regis.
Got it. And Cocoa Beach, when you're talking about Cocoa Beach, it's just all those condos, right? I mean, that is Cocoa Beach.
Yeah, so it's. I think it doesn't have the diversity
Yeah.
that St. Regis and Dorado Beach has. So it's a good product, but it definitely does not. It's not competing at the same level, at least not yet.
Got it. At one point, it was a Trump resort, right?
It was.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Well, we're learning a lot about Puerto Rico real estate with our guest, Ricky Santana, and we'll be back with more in just a moment. Don't go away. If you're a business owner, listen up. This is a drum I've been beating for decades now. If you aren't outsourcing your business processes like sales, customer support, marketing, lead generation, etc., you're leaving so much money on the table. Consider trying out MVision BPO call center and staffing. This company is unique. Their staff is unlike any other offshore firm, with cherry-picked, overqualified agents who speak perfect English, sound American, and even understand U.S. culture as well. If you know me, you know that I built and ran an outsourcing company for years, so I know a great outsourcing company when I see one. To see all the reasons why MVision is the hidden gem in outsourcing, visit their website at mvisionusa.com. On the site, you'll see videos of their agents speaking perfect English. You won't believe they're offshore. Plus, they're offering exclusive credit packages and 2 weeks of free onboarding to listeners of the broadcast. MVision, outsourcing done right. Hey there, it's Daven Michaels. Welcome to the San Juan Social Club Cruise. Hey there, and welcome aboard the annual San Juan Social Club Cruise. I'm Daven Michaels, producer, planner, and founder of the San Juan Social Club. And I'm here sailing through the stunning Caribbean waters to give you a sneak peek into the biggest and best networking event in Puerto Rico. The San Juan Social Club Cruise is an unforgettable experience designed for Puerto Rico residents and those looking to learn more about Puerto Rico that want to network, make friends, and learn about all of Puerto Rico's vast resources and economic opportunities. Imagine spending a week with us, taking advantage of this one-of-a-kind adventure to unearth exciting business, expand your local network, and make a lasting impact on our community.
40 years of getting together in business groups. This is the most value I've ever seen.
Networking was spectacular.
I'm definitely coming back next year.
It is just amazing, like no other cruise.
One of the best investments I've ever made.
Way more than I could have imagined.
This is where to be.
I've met people from all over the world. People that are making the world a better place.
Really high caliber entrepreneurs and investors.
I'm blown away.
It's incredible, the energy.
It's a total party the entire week.
They're making so many friends.
Blew my mind.
The trip absolutely paid for itself.
We'll be here next year.
This is the adventure of a lifetime.
Networking and schmoozing while Caribbean cruising. Join us in paradise for the San Juan Social Club Cruise. See you on board. And we're back talking about residential real estate. We have Ricky Santana with us. Ricky, so we were talking about luxury real estate. We were talking about some of the different markets. And I figured we'd just go a little more granular and talk about some of the different markets, the different areas. So let's start with Palmas del Mar.
So I think Palmas was probably one of the first luxury products in Puerto Rico. I can't recall if it's been around for 40 or 50 years.
Let's do it one more time because we got dogs barking. That's my dog, by the way.
Okay.
And we're back with Ricky Santana. One more time. Okay. And we're back. We're talking about residential real estate. Our guest is Ricky Santana. Good to have you here, amigo.
Thank you.
We've been talking about the different markets. I figured we'd just get a little more granular and talk about some more of the individual markets. So let's start with Palmas del Mar.
So I think Palmas del Mar, I don't recall if it's been around for 40, 50 years. So I think it was one of the first comprehensive luxury development resorts.
Yeah, I meet people all the time that are our age, and they're like, oh, when I was young, we vacationed in Palmas, or we had a place in Palmas.
So I think you were back in the 80s, says, I want to really have a house in Palmas. So that didn't change. I want to have a house in Dorado Beach.
Yeah, right.
So I think they were definitely pioneers in that particular luxury market. They were definitely probably the first ones to develop something like that.
And how's the Palmas market doing?
I think it's changing where it's evolving. That now you have more options in the market. So I guess if you're a boater, you always want to be with Palmas. But I think unfortunately in Palmas, the infrastructure around it lags behind what you have in San Juan, and it's hard to compete with that.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But it is growing. For the first time in a couple of decades, there's new construction.
At last,
this.
yes.
Yeah, which is very cool. And now they're looking at doing the town square, which they've procured the land already. So that could be a big game changer for Palmas. So let's talk about some other markets. I personally love Isla Verde. So what are your thoughts on Isla Verde? Like where is it how do you see Isla Verde in the next decade?
It's hard to explain why Isla Verde is not the number one option for the luxury real estate market.
The beaches are gorgeous, right?
The beaches are much better than in Condado.
I agree.
It's closer to the airport.
Yeah.
The infrastructure, it's there. It's hard to explain. So if you're giving me a big check to invest, I will definitely look in Isla Verde. So when you compare the values between Condado and Isla Verde, they're so far apart.
I know.
That gap, it's narrowing down. But there's absolutely no reason why Isla Verde should not be like the Miami Beach. There's what you should buy. The reality is that the amount of inventory that is in Isla Verde, it's smaller. But if I'm looking to invest actually from the ground up, Isla Verde to me makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Now, if Isla Verde, like I totally agree with you. Like I see it as Miami in the 80s. But you have these, all the water area has, high rises.
Most of it, yeah.
And they're older high rises, so it's not like anyone's going to demo those and put up brand new glass ones. So I don't know, where do you see that going?
There's actually a couple of lots where you can build there.
Wow.
And not necessarily have to build in front of the water.
Okay.
So I think eventually, and I think Keith Sinclair, rest in peace, had a vision for that. He started doing a couple of projects in Isla Verde. So I think in time it will happen. But I mean, you have all the variables in place for Isla Verde to be just a vibrant Miami Beach kind of vibe.
Yeah. No, I totally dig it over there. Now, in the same breath, you'd probably put Carolina, right? I mean, they're or different.
It depends who you ask.
Yeah.
Like Isla Verde it's part of Carolina. But if you ask people that live in Isla Verde, no, I don't live in Carolina.
Right.
I live in Isla Verde.
Right. So, okay. So yes, Isla Verde is in Carolina, but there's parts of Carolina that are not in Isla Verde.
That is correct.
And do you kind of consider that like Isla Verde, or is that a different market as well? Different?
Well, for my market, it's totally different.
So tell us about that.
So I think Carolina, generally speaking, is more like low to mid level. You're gonna find houses in the $200,000. So it's more accessible for first time buyers.
Sure.
So Carolina, Isla Verde is more on the tourist side, where Carolina is more on the residential side.
Got it.
Very, very different product.
Where do you see Carolina itself without Isla Verde in the next decade?
Oh, wow, that's a great question. I think the mayor has done a great job of building out Carolina. And the one thing you need to understand of Carolina, we have a lot of pharmaceuticals company in there. You have a lot of shopping mall. So Carolina is definitely one of the most vibrant cities in Puerto Rico. It has a lot of infrastructure. And the airport is in Carolina.
Yeah, that's true. So if you're going in and out, it's the most convenient.
So, but the thing is about Carolina, so it's Isla Verde, then there's the airport, and then the rest of Carolina.
Yep.
So pretty much that's where it ends and begins.
Right. And so with that in mind, so past the airport, is that Carolina as well?
All of that is Carolina, but it's the different Carolina.
Right. But when you think about like if that area were to become a Miami, that's where you'd have the room to do.
Yeah, probably.
Right?
I think you're gonna have, instead of Carolina, that trickle down effect. It's actually not gonna go towards the west, towards Carolina. It's actually gonna go like towards Miramar, Ocean Park. I think it's gonna go the other way.
I see.
It stops, in my opinion. It just stops at the airport.
Okay.
Towards Condado. So like Condado typically is where people want to buy.
Yeah.
For the longest time. So now what's happening in the market? Then now, San Juan, Miramar, Ocean Park, and then Isla Verde, all of that is going to become the vibrant part of the real estate market.
I understand. We haven't touched on the West Coast. Let's talk a little bit about the West Coast.
West Coast, I think, it's a different product. Like Rincon has been for the last 50 or 60 years. It's been a surfer town.
Right. It's been like Laguna Beach in the 70s.
I mean, it's so peaceful.
Yeah.
The gastronomy is outstanding. A lot of
There
food
is
to
some
market.
good food now.
Oh, it's a
Good
great. If you wanna forget about real estate, I'm your expert on foodie.
Yeah.
So
me
for
too.
sure,
I'm a big
oh my
foodie too,
God.
but I don't know the West Side food scene.
We'll talk that
Yeah,
offline.
let's do that, yeah.
No, Rincon, it's outstanding. It's very peaceful.
Yeah.
Actually, there's no traffic lights in Rincon.
Right.
So it's very laid back. The
Yep.
vibe. It's beautiful. And the other town I would say that is really interesting on the West Coast is Isabela.
Totally.
Isabela is beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I just saw this thing. Did you see? They do it out there with the cars. They light up the cars, and have you seen this?
The
It's
one
like a
with
big-
the BWs or
Yes, that's there, isn't it?
there's I think they did a parade there on
Yeah.
the West Coast.
Yeah.
So so Isabela I think would compare it to what Dorado was maybe in the 80s or
Mm-hmm.
the maybe in the 90s, where I live in San Juan, I work full time, and then I have my beach home for the weekend
Yeah.
on Dorado Beach.
Mm-hmm.
So what has changed in Dorado, that now Dorado residents are, particularly Sabanero, Dorado Beach, they're full-time residents. However, then I live right now in Dorado full-time.
Sure.
Then you know what? I would like to have a weekend home in Isabela.
Sure.
Whether it's Villa Montaña, whether it's what's the other place that just so I'm trying to remember what Royo Isabela. So I think it's and again the other thing about Isabela is like I'm only like probably an hour away from Dorado, and it's 10 or 15 minutes away from the airport in Aguadilla.
Yeah, I've never been to that airport. It's an international airport, right?
It is. It has its limitations,
Yeah.
but they're putting a lot of money into it.
That's what I heard.
The heavy infrastructure, it's already in place. So I think as an investor, as a resident, if you buy something in Isabela, I mean, you just have all the infrastructure is in place. So I think in time, Isabela might become the next Dorado in time. It's
Really?
and like a lot of the aerospatial industries are moving there, and actually you have Orlando Bravo has his foundation and his program in Mayagüez, so the West Coast is getting a lot of impact. I think for the longest time, people were not looking at the West Coast as a place to actually live,
Yeah.
and that is changing. So I think Isabela, it's definitely an up and coming, and it's some, as an investor, as a resident, it's something to look at.
So you think it's a good buy?
It's a great buy.
And
Great buy.
Rincon as well.
Yeah, so the thing about Rincon, it's just farther away.
It is.
Like from Dorado, it's probably 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
There's no airports nearby.
know.
But Isabela, it's easier, and the
Yeah.
restaurants are very nice. You have a couple of hotels. So I think Isabela is becoming, I'm not going to say more crowded, but it's becoming a little bit more like Dorado, San Regis, where there's more things around it. Rincon is just a different animal. It's just so peaceful. You go there, you get disconnected.
Yeah.
So two different products on the West Coast.
Okay.
And you're a surfer, you love the beach. Yeah, that's where you want to be.
Sure. And then lastly, what about Luquillo?
Luquillo, I think, has a lot of comparisons to Isabela, and I think going back to Isla Verde, there's nothing wrong about Rio Grande or Luquillo.
Yeah.
I love Rio Grande. Luquillo, actually, Prisa Group just put a hotel there. They're smart people. There's a reason why they built a nice hotel in there.
Sure.
So they just follow the money.
Which hotel is this?
I should know this one. I'm not sure if it was
Who was the group that did
I
it?
think it was a Fairfield, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, who did it? Which group?
Prisa Group.
It was Prisa. Okay.
So if Prisa is building something in Luquillo,
Right.
that tells you something.
Right.
So there's no reason why Luquillo should not be in an outstanding. Actually, I'm gonna put it this differently: the East Coast. If you're a boater, you have La Marinas in Fajardo. Roosevelt Roads eventually is gonna get done.
Yep.
So I would say if you're looking to buy real estate in Puerto Rico, that typically you go to San Juan, you go to Dorado, but definitely that the East Coast, because of all the infrastructure that's being put in place, I think it's gonna happen in the next probably decade or so.
That's cool. One more market, just because you brought it up. Let's talk about Roosevelt Roads. So, I know residential we have to look forward many years, but there's a lot of really innovative projects that are just about to happen over there, right? There's been a lot that is just about to happen for many years. But you mentioned aerospace, and they're looking at possibly launching rockets out in the water over there, at Ceiba.
Well, the thing about Roosevelt Roads,
Yeah.
there's some stuff that's public and there's some stuff that it's not. So I think eventually it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Roosevelt Roads, just the infrastructure that it has in place
Right.
for luxury yachts, and that's a different market. Your private planes. We just have to take politics aside, and in the process, it's complicated.
It is.
It's hard to describe what are the next steps with Rubus Roads. I've been here for so many years. Oh, there's a big project, but there's an if or there's a but. But I think Roosevelt Roads has the potential to disrupt the area. I'm aware of potential projects that might happen there.
Yeah.
So I think eventually that could be a really interesting place.
You think maybe a decade from now it could be a hotspot? It's hard to see that far in the future, right?
It took Prisa Group 30 years to build and develop Dorado Beach and Sabanera. But the one thing that Roosevelt Roads has, it just has the infrastructure for planes,
already there.
For the yachts. I actually worked with my father back, I think it was 1989 or 90, working at the hospital. Mm-hmm. My father was a security technician, so I actually worked
at the Naval Hospital.
Yeah, I actually worked there helping him out.
So do you remember it? Do you remember it?
I recall it.
I mean, it was a vibrant city.
It was.
Now it's a ghost town.
It was like more like something like, compare more like, I would probably say Palmas del Mar, because you had the naval ships, you had the planes, you have all of that. So
crazy.
It's unfortunate of what it was in the 80s and the 90s, and where it is now. Of course, there's some geopolitical reasons of why that changed. That's a different story.
Yeah.
But the infrastructure is in place, and so when you're gonna develop, probably one of the biggest questions a developer is going to ask, what's the infrastructure looks like. So I think that maybe it's not 10 years, maybe it's easier, because it's not raw line. All the pieces are in place in there.
Right. Are there currently, because I've heard that there are, but I haven't seen them, are there currently residential real estate projects that are actually developing right now in Roosevelt Roads?
I've heard rumors of different projects, honestly.
Me too, but I haven't seen them.
It's confusing. I take with a grain of salt every time I hear something. Oh, we're doing this in Roosevelt Roads. So I say, okay, I'll believe when I see it.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough because you build it. There's no, the infrastructure's there, but there's nothing else. There's no grocery stores. There's no.
So it's very simple. I think the way that, and I've heard a couple of things. Some of them I just can't disclose.
Sure.
But I would say if you have a great operator, I'm of course very biased for Prisa. They're local, but you give that to the Prisa and the Stube family, they'll make it work.
Yeah.
Paulson already, and Paulson Puerto Rico, they know how to do it.
Yeah.
You just need a good operator to make Roosevelt Road work.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all the pieces are in there for success.
Yeah, it'd be cool as like a Paulson and Prisa collabo.
I mean, I had them on stage for the first time. Rolando and Federico.
I mean, they're amigos, right? I mean,
there was always a misconception of we're competitors. Well, I mean, we're playing for the same ecosystem.
Yeah, I mean, they both have more than enough money and business and resources, and
So the one thing is for do sustainable development in any part, but let's say about Puerto Rico, you de-risk a project when you're actually having big players
for
in.
sure. Absolutely.
So like, let's say definitely, and that's a conversation. Maybe they probably had it. Like you focus on residential, we focus on hotels. Mm-hmm. Maybe we do a marina.
Yeah.
That's the collaboration. That's the key. That's my company's called Colectivo. There's a reason for it. Right. So I think definitely, and then they can bring some other players around the world. But I think, and this is where I do, like when I got clients that are involved in real estate. Oh, I know a lot of real estate. Do you know about Puerto Rico? It's very different. Yeah. Like if I do really well in Puerto Rico, if I go to Santo Domingo, Cuba.
Yeah, you don't know the market.
It's different. So I think that there's some synergies and opportunities for collaboration.
Yeah, I agree. This is fascinating. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Ricky Santana. Don't go away. As a business owner, the last thing I want to be doing is payroll. Not only do I not want to be doing payroll, but I don't want my staff doing it. Heck, I don't even want my bookkeeper doing my payroll. Why? Because payroll is complicated, it's cumbersome, the liability is high, and if you ever screw it up on the employee side, trust me, they'll never forgive you. That's why I use Easy Checks Caribbean. They make payroll easy, painless, and trouble-free. Here's how it works. My assistant gives Easy Checks the hours. And that's it. That's all we do. And then the next week, our employees receive their checks, or most of them just receive their direct deposit, and that's it. The taxes, the compliance, the disbursements, the quarterly tax filings. We just give them the hours and that's it. I love Easy Checks. Visit easycheckspr.com or call 787-379-0241. Mention the broadcast and the first 3 months are on the house. Whether you have 1 employee or 1,000, Easy Checks Caribbean, making payroll easy for businesses across Puerto Rico. I want to take a quick minute to tell you about an organization that's very near and dear to my heart because I started it. The San Juan Social Club is at its core a community of extraordinary people getting together for food, fun, networking, and philanthropy. What started out a few years ago as a small gathering of friends has blossomed into thousands of entrepreneurs, business owners, movers, shakers, and change makers here in Puerto Rico. We hold monthly free social, learning, and community service events. We run an annual networking cruise, which is truly an unforgettable experience. Plus, we just started securing member exclusives on things like discounts for professional services, restaurants, and service businesses on the island and beyond. If you spend any time at all in Puerto Rico, we'd love to see you at our next event. Visit sanjuansocialclub.org to get on the invite list. Again, that's sanjuansocialclub.org. Hope to see you at our next event. And we're back with Ricky Santana. We're talking about residential real estate. And Ricky, I think what makes you truly unique in the space is you're not just a real estate professional, but you're a thought leader and a community leader here. And I think, or my guess, is that comes from the fact that you've been doing events for like 2.5 decades, right?
Roughly.
A long time.
Really.
You started when you were 5 years old, right?
Pretty much.
So, I want to talk about your current event. I want to talk about Icon, but let's just talk about how you got started in events and what you've done in the event space.
I mean, I would say like real estate it's my job, but events it's my passion.
Your passion.
Oh
yeah.
my God,
I could totally relate
I just
to
love
that.
it. I probably started doing events back in, I'm gonna say 1993.
And by the way, too, I'll just say we were talking about this off camera. Events are really, there's a lot of benefits to doing events, but it really is a labor of love because I have spent time with so many captains of business and they will all say, these are like people running huge companies and this, that, but the hardest thing they do is events. It's just, it's not easy.
It's a labor of love,
Yes.
Money, time, and then when you do high-end events like we do, trying to get so many, I'm not gonna say egos, personality in the same room. People are busy. Everything. It's
Everything.
It's just so really hard.
Yeah.
I just have a passion for it.
Yeah, me too. I get it. So you started doing events, you said, in 93?
I think I started back, I'm trying to recall, it was probably like 1993, 94. I started working with baseball players. I was in sports marketing. Yeah, Puerto Rico. I was probably in sports marketing, baseball players, NFL players, NBA, WWE. I was in that segment for 15 years. And then I wandered off doing other stuff. Then I pivoted doing healthcare events. Entertainment events, and then in 2018 I started thinking I should do something different, and my background is finance, so I said, why don't I do financial events? And that's where the magic started. That was my aha moment. I decided to do the Puerto Rico Opportunity Zones on 2019, and we got 125 people flying from the States to Puerto Rico to understand. We were discussing offline about niche markets.
Yep.
I just hit a home run. I did opportunity zones, and Puerto Rico was disruptive because we had, I think it was 97% of Puerto Rico qualified for opportunity zone incentives at the federal level. So there was an appetite to understand why Puerto Rico. So pretty much I just fell into this thing of doing financial events, and from doing the Opportunity Zones conference.
Actually, hold that thought for 1 sec, because I know where you're about to go. But before that, let's stick with the Opportunity Zone event for a second. I'm just curious. So those attendees were from all over the world, essentially, right? Or the States?
Yeah, so initially it was sold out when I started putting up that conference. I was scared. It was, okay, so what is your smallest room at the Vanderbilt? I said, can you do a 15 more intimate? Okay, so I think we're 50. What's the next one? It's 100. So okay, so what is your biggest conference? Like we're gonna take this over, and we had a standing room only at the Vanderbilt Hotel. So there was a lot of curiosity. We have people pretty much like maybe from the States, some EB5 guys, and there was just an appetite to understand the opportunities in Puerto Rico.
I'm curious, how did you get the word out? How did you get the word out to that audience to come to Puerto Rico for this event?
Organically.
Wow.
It was
crazy.
magic because we didn't spend money in advertising.
Wow.
It was organically getting to. I do have a lot of social currency.
Sure,
And
yeah.
I pretty much use it all up for that event. I was just timing. We were a little bit lucky, and really prepared to put a really high-end project.
Yeah, luck is when preparedness meets
Exactly.
opportunity, right? And then there's some luck sprinkled in it too, right?
And,
Just
and,
straight-
and the thing it's just grind and hard work.
Yeah.
That's my secret sauce.
Sure.
I think that's my blessing, just being stubborn and just work ethic, and just it was magic. I mean, it's just sometimes it's just timing of when you do something.
Yeah.
Coming to market with that, and then that pivoted to other stuff. But the icon was, the OC event was, it was disruptive.
And that was in 2018.
That was in 2018.
And then did that evolve into Icon?
So then that was the curiosity started, that Puerto Rico needs something else.
Okay.
So I saw people interested in Puerto Rico, the tax incentive. So I started doing research and understanding the market is needing something. And we need another investors conference. So Icon starts from investors conference, and we started playing with it. So we decided, you know what? I decided personally, I think Puerto Rico needs something to better explain the opportunities in Puerto Rico. So that's where we did our first Icon conference at was La Concha in 2020, and it was roughly 3 weeks before they shut us down.
Oh, just before the show. So you really got lucky there.
Well, yes, we got lucky. I recall.
But then I'm sure people started to not travel as much.
So the conference was, if I recall correctly, I think it was February 25 and February 25 was a Monday.
Yeah.
So I recall having the guys. We had Merrill Lynch as one of our partners on the event, and I remember one of my guys telling me from New York, have you been following COVID? Kind of. Do you know that's coming to the States? Well, kind of. Are you preparing to shut this down? I said, no, we're not preparing to do nothing of that. So it was already on my radar because a lot of the international
Were you just
companies.
like counting the days?
It was
please,
like,
please,
no.
please.
Like let's have this conversation after the conference.
Right.
So there were starting to be rumors and chatter of, you know what? I think that we're gonna have to shut Puerto Rico down.
I remember right around that time, somebody asked me, like, do you think that this is a thing? And I said, no, I think it's going to be no big deal.
So it was
that.
like, no, like I don't want to hear this. I'm not having this conversation. But I was really aware, and of course nobody could imagine what would happen with COVID and the shutdown.
Yep.
And I remember there was a financial event after our conference. That one got canceled.
Yeah.
So we pretty much
You just made it
luck
under the radar.
Yeah, man, and it was a great conference. And then I think in that 3 years, 2.5 years, I lost track. That 2 years was an opportunity to have an introspection of what I wanted to do, where should Icon go, because I know I had all the elements. I had the knowledge, the market knowledge. I had the connections. I have the experience, and that's where it evolved into pivoting into a nonprofit organization, and that's where the Puerto Rico Icon Institute was born.
So what is the Puerto Rico Icon Institute?
So it's a think tank platform where we gather the brightest minds in different sectors, and we just have a conversation, whether there's something from Puerto Rico, or it can be something more broader like AI. Again, I just have a passion for events, for communication. I think this is the first. I'm usually on the other side. I just like to ask questions. I'm just very curious by nature.
Yeah.
So I've been following Milken Institute South, Davos. There's so many great conferences. And I said, why not from Puerto Rico?
Totally.
Look at the weather. You do a conference in New York, it's cold. Why not have a think tank from Puerto Rico? Mm-hmm. The easiest one is look at the weather, look at our culture. It's not U.S. passport. It's not international travel.
Right.
So I said, like, yeah, with Puerto Rico needs an international conference. So that's how the Puerto Rico Icon started.
Got it. And essentially, Icon is one event once a year?
So that has been evolving. So like
Yep.
last year we did Mentorship Day, and let me give a shout out to my co-founders, Happy Walters and Carla Barrera.
Oh, I didn't know Happy was one of your partners.
Okay, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Happy's awesome.
So I mean, it's without them, of course, this would be impossible. It's
So you have Happy, and who's your other partner?
and Carla Barrera.
Okay.
She's my colleague in real estate, and she's the owner of Good Wings.
Okay.
I
don't know
Part of the magic is just surrounding yourself with special people.
Sure, for sure.
So then we decided to put this conference from Puerto Rico, and of course, I would say Puerto Rico. In our conference is always the main dish, where we're always going to discuss whether it's healthcare, whether it's blockchain. So having a big high-end conversation from Puerto Rico, from the key stakeholders. So one thing, and let's circle back to one of the benefits of the decrease and the incentives on the new residents. It's not the economic capital that they have. It's the knowledge.
The brain trust, absolutely.
so, I
bringing
mean-
new eyes onto a
Oh
project.
my God, it's amazing.
Because there's plenty of smart people here in Puerto Rico too, but you bring new eyes in, the people that come from different backgrounds and different experiences.
So it's become a melting pot of really profound thinkers on different areas.
I agree.
And that's what Puerto Rico has, because the money comes in and out, but having that brain power that it's coming to Puerto
100%.
Rico, and their willingness to share that knowledge.
Absolutely.
So that's where the idea, I'm going to circle back to
Yes.
the Puerto Rico Icon.
Sure.
That's where the idea of Mentorship Day started. So the Puerto Rico Icon Conference is the organization. Icon is our flagship event. And then we have Mentorship Day. With Mentorship Day, what we try to do is connect that intellectual capital with people that are trying to develop new businesses, new ideas. We're connectors.
So is Mentorship Day a part of the once annual event, or is it?
So Mentorship Day, it's one of the events produced by the Puerto Rico Icon Institute.
Okay.
So that is the organization. Icon, that is the yearly conference.
Okay.
Mentorship Day, it's another of our events.
So it's a
we're-
different event, different day,
So
different week.
what Icon is not, it's not a conference. Icon, it's like when you do a conference, it's once a year. You gather like Christmas, the holidays, Thanksgiving. You see your relatives. You see only once a year.
Yeah.
That's not big enough. That doesn't create impact. We should be a platform. It's an ongoing platform conversations. Like I'm having a conversation with you today. Then I have a couple of my friends in Dorado, Condado. We have a conversation with 20 people. Then it's 50 people. Then it's 100. I'm speaking with Alberto Baco and Santurce. So Icon is a movement. It's a think tank. And what we're trying to do is having a yearly conversation of the opportunities in Puerto Rico, whether it's investment, whether it's discounts in philanthropy. We're super connectors of what we do with our organization.
That's great. So, two things. One, I want to back up for a second because we were talking about OZs. And I always try to think, people that are maybe watching the show may not understand opportunity zones and why they're significant and what the benefit is. So I want to wrap up with Icon, but let's back up for a second and talk about opportunity zones. Why is it significant that 97% of this island is an opportunity zone?
So you really want to tell me to tell you a sad story about Puerto Rico?
Absolutely. We always, on this show, we follow the history of Puerto Rico. And the reason why is because there are lessons to be learned from the pitfalls, right?
I was really excited about what opportunity zones could have done for Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Now, what's the benefit of an opportunity?
So
why do investors want to invest in opportunities?
So the opportunity. I'm not a CPA. I'm not a tax attorney. I know a lot of them and I've learned from them. So basically, this comes from the enterprise incentives in the states, where basically the government, the local governments created an incentive to invest in areas where nobody wanted to invest.
Right.
And you basically get a deferment of your capital in that window. So basically they took the enterprise incentives and converted into opportunity zones.
Yep.
So I haven't discussed this topic in a while, but in generally speaking, if you have a capital gains event, basically what the federal government tells you, you're going to invest in a particular area in an opportunity zones, which is typically an area that has been neglected. And I'm going to allow you to, instead of paying the IRS, put the tax money into that area, and for 10 years you're not going to pay taxes on that.
Right.
And whatever capital gains you get from that investment, that's going to be tax free.
Yep.
And it had some waterfalls, escalators.
Yep.
That's powerful.
It is.
So in the States, it did work.
It did.
Unfortunately, in Puerto Rico, I think we got between policies and reglamentos, it just never got off the ground. So I think we only have a couple of projects. So
what did we do wrong?
I think it's easier to say what did we do right. I think Puerto Rico was slow in trying to put the infrastructure in place as far as the guidelines on how
That's
to
true.
deploy.
I remember when they first made it happen, people couldn't get the information.
So in the information, the processes, and then the thing is, there's another thing in Puerto Rico that you can double dip on the tax incentives. So I want to build a hotel within an opportunity zone.
You could take advantage of the hospitality credits.
But you can take, so it's...
Can you take both?
You can't.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So
right.
like on the former Act 74 incentives for hotels, everything now is under Act 60, but
right.
hotels was Act 74. So that program is so robust on the tax incentives part. You're better off sticking with Act 74 and not Opportunities Fund.
Yeah. So, I mean, in essence, we did create actually a better program in that scenario.
So, I mean, the best way, there's no way I can sugarcoat it, I think was a lost opportunity. It could have been disruptive, but again, there's lessons to be learned. And I'm not your ideal guy to talk about government. It sometimes it frustrates me.
It is.
And I don't think it's the people in government. It's just the infrastructure. You may have
the bureaucracy.
You may have the willingness, the desires. Because I've had governors on my events. I have a couple of the high-end government officials on my events. They have the desire to change things.
For sure.
It's just we have to revamp. Our tax laws, the bureaucracy. I'm hopeful that in time that's going to change.
Yep.
So opportunity zones, I think I'm gonna focus on just being an eternal optimist. I think it gave Puerto Rico the spotlight that we should look at Puerto Rico as an investment opportunity. Also, we can do a hotel in the opportunity zones, but there's something else called Act 74, which is now under Act 60.
Right.
You know what? Let me grab a piece of that.
Yeah.
Forget about opportunity zones. So anytime there is an opportunity to talk about Puerto Rico, about how we are unique, that it's not too good to be true.
Yeah.
In Puerto Rico, it's not that. Yeah,
Right.
You can actually move to Puerto Rico. You don't have to lose your passport, your citizenship, and you can have a significant tax benefit of moving to Puerto Rico. You don't have to move to Malta. You don't have to move elsewhere.
Right.
Yeah, Puerto Rico is too good to be true.
Yeah, I remember before I moved here 6 years ago, I found out about the tax incentives almost a decade ago, so about a year after the program started, and my thought was, that's too good to be true. And then it wasn't, it was still about 4 years later where I was like, oh, okay.
We're definitely unique.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so now back to Icon. So if somebody wants to, not just go to an Icon event, but tap into Icon's resources, where do they go?
I think going to our website, so East West One, iconpr.org. And one of the things we're changing with Icon are the events currently as they're constructed, they're intimate, they're powerful, they're meaningful. So I think in time we're gonna have more than different products with different purposes. One of the things we definitely we put a lot of resources into document all of our podcasts or our conferences are going to be online. So I mean, just reach out to us. We have a great team, and yeah, definitely get involved. Don't just hear about Icon. Get involved. Don't just be an attendee, be a participant, be an advocate. That's what it's all about. Having more people, having meaningful conversations that we can actually execute, and that's where we create the magic of making Puerto Rico a special place.
Words to live by. I think that's awesome. Lastly, if somebody wants to get some information on luxury real estate in Puerto Rico,
I'm your guy.
Where do they go?
So we're a 9-member team. You can go to our website, thecolectivogroup.com. We're always around. I'm very thrilled that now my daughter is on our team. So we're we're very proud of what we're doing with Colectivo, so we're available.
That's exciting. It's exciting when you get your kids in the business.
It is.
That's great. That's great. Well, Ricky, I want to thank you for being with us, and I want to thank all of you for watching. And if you're enjoying the broadcast, make sure to give us thumbs up, make sure to subscribe, and give us a 5-star review. And until next time, this is Daven Michaels. Live your true life adventure. See you next time.